Aquarius, this is your June alignment message. Let's find out what Aquarius is currently aligning to, how Source will bring you into alignment, and then we'll look at love. All right, Aqua, let's find out what Source would like you to know. Other than I have hair in my mouth. Ah, goodness. Aqua, do you have something that you need to say to someone? Is there something you need to get out of your mouth? Do you need to say something with your voice instead of thinking it? That is what I'm thinking in regards to that. Of course you threw cards. Is that all of them? It is all of them. Five of Swords, yeah. So I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying, is there something you need to communicate honestly to someone? It tells me that you're waiting for the right time to convey something to someone. There is an energy here of you wanting it to be reciprocal, is the energy that I'm getting. There's an energy of you wanting someone to reciprocate feeling, and that's why you haven't conveyed something to them. So this is what Source has given me, Aqua. Ready? Source is like saying, if you knew it was going to turn out exactly as your heart desires, that you were going to receive exactly the acknowledgement, the recognition that you feel in your heart, how would you communicate? Source is like, it's time for you to start living your life from that level of authentic communication, because there's a level here of communication that will create the perfect circumstances and situation for you to get exactly what you would like to manifest within relationships by you showing up fully, authentically in the words that you use. Not the thoughts that you think, but the words that you use, right? Words are spells. And if you don't convey and communicate honestly from the deepest desire of what you would like to live into, there is a crossing of the energy. And what I mean by that is that Source is really confused by what Source knows that you feel or desire to manifest and the way that you relate with others. It's time for you to make that there's no journey between how you actually would like to relate with the world and then how you actually relate with the world, right? Because Source is like, those two things not connecting is what's creating the misalignment and manifestation. It's time for you to really have the courage to celebrate into the life that you're living into. There is a saying that don't speak your blessings until they've arrived. And I'm not a believer of that. I'm a believer that blessings happen when you claim them, not when you are scared to claim them, right? If you're fearful of claiming your blessings, that means that you don't feel like you're in alignment to those blessings. So Source is like, change that way of relating, the way that you're meant to relate with that which you would like to manifest into is to speak your manifestation into the spelling, into the creation, into the manifestation by claiming them, by choosing them, by not having any wiggle room between you feeling like you are deserving of it, because that wiggle room is the misalignment of not believing that you are actually worthy of said manifestation, whatever that is. For some of you guys, it has to do with love. For others, well, for most of you, it has to do with love for some reason. And Source is like, in that place in your life is the only misalignment. The misalignment is in love, because you will settle for the energy that you feel will settle for you. Did you just hear me? You will settle for the energy that you feel will settle for you. But Source wants you to step into the dynamic energy of literally evoking the same dynamic soul that you are within relationship, right? That's what you want to live into. Make sure you claim that energy to live into. All right, let's find out what love has in store for you. You guys gave those to me quick. All right, there's an energy here of, okay, art is here, which is temperance, I believe. You have death here. Ooh, look at that death card. You have, yeah, you have the magician here, the Aeon, and then you have sorrow, right? Source is saying to me in regards to love is that you manifest the same story if you live into the same story, right? If you continually choose the same people for the same reason, you're in the same alignment, right? Like 1 + 1 = 2. Source is like, what can be changed in the equation to have a different story? Source is like, the lesson for you is to end the old lesson and to do things from a completely different space energetically within you. One that shows up to what you truly on a deep level desire. If you're truly on a deep level want to have a husband or a wife, you then have to date on that level of the requirements of someone to have the aspects that you would be choosing for the rest of your life. And I'm just making that an example. We're not talking about traditional loving or traditional marriage. We're talking about the level of taking a journey with you in the heart space, in the space where somebody shares your desire to invest in a shared story, has an energy. That person has a different energy than someone that you're just relating with physically without anything to invest into future-wise. And Source wants you to see and relate from that perspective. Are you ready to build with another person as a partner? And if so, what would the requirement for that be? If you're constantly treating your heart as something that is second fiddle, i.e., I get what I get, then you'll get what you get. But like, if you wouldn't treat that situation with your money, right? If you wouldn't just invest willy-nilly with your money, why is it that you invest your heart willy-nilly? Source is like, we get how we energetically give credence to, value to in our lives. And it's time for you to see that cycle in your life so that you stop creating the disappointment of somebody not meeting your vision into your future. So state the vision of what you would like somebody to join you in, build with, so that later you don't find out, well, that's not how I picture my future. That's not how I picture my life. I don't intend on living in this place for the rest of my life, or I intend to, like, if you don't have a shared vision, that will eventually be the thing that creates the dislodging. And Source says it's time for you to take your heart seriously so that you have the right alignment. All right, let's see what will create alignment for you. Also, Source says stop choosing people that don't choose you. All right, let's find out what will bring my aquas into alignment. Aquarius, divine masculine. Stop, for the females, stop playing the divine masculine if you want to attract the divine masculine. For males, it's time for you to step into the divine masculine, the one that claims what it is that they want to live into. And remember, we have masculine and feminine in our energy. That must come into balance depending on which role you choose to play. All right, claim this message if you'd like to live into it. I love you. I'm Nettie. I guide.